Hey everyone. For today's live office hours, we're joined by Adora and Avichal, and I'll leave it to them to introduce themselves.
I am a partner at Y Combinator. Previously, I was the founder CEO of a startup called HomeJoy.
Hey, Avichal Garg. I'm what we call YC expert. I was most recently director of product at Facebook. I've done a couple of startups, sold a couple, invested in a bunch.
Hello, Adora.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Avichal, good to meet you.
Adora, nice to meet you.
Avichal, good to meet you.
Cool. Welcome. So tell us what you do.
Hi, we're working on Admission. It's a web application that offers high-quality, personalized college admission advice for high school students.
So is there another person on the other end, or can you give the most common use case of how people use you?
So students can sign up for free, and then they will create a profile. The profile includes the academic information, including the GPA test scores, and also extracurricular activities and the college goals. For example, the colleges that they want to get into, and also the majors they're interested in. So once they enter the data, we generate an algorithm we use the algorithm to generate the personalized recommendations to them to help them reach their goals.
Gotcha. So who's using this, or who do you want to use this?
The high school students and their parents.
Who more specifically?
For those who cannot afford private college counseling, because the price range is from $4,000 to like $40,000 per package.
I see. And why would they use this?
Because in the U.S. public high school, one counselor serves 491 students, and each student only gets 38 minutes of college advising per year. So we want to fill in the gap so they can get access, and we think that every student deserves the help they need to get into college.
Is there one particular thing that they really need help on? Because one of the things I think a lot of people, when they buy books, a lot of books about is essays, because the application itself is pretty objective and standard, right? So do you find like there's a specific feature that people are really looking for and will actually pay for?
Yeah, that's interesting. When we first started, we kind of just keep it pretty broad. We talk about an essay, we talk about college selections, but recently when we talked to some of the users, we found out that they want one-on-one interactions, and specifically on college selection and the essays.
So are you building a marketplace then of people?
So when we first started, we just kind of did it on our own. Like the backend is us. But actually, we talked to Anton, our mentor on the startup school, and we also got some feedback from users saying they want one-on-one interactions. So last weekend, our team spent 30 hours to build and launch that marketplace.
And how's that going?
It's going quicker than I expected. So for the past 3 days, we had about 800 people visited the site, and then we had about 60 advisors signed up. So right now, because of the marketplace, we focus on the supply side first.
Okay, so you have 60 advisors. Mm-hmm. How many, and so you're focused on acquiring those. Do you think that's enough? That seems like enough because it's a... Excuse me?
I don't think they can hear me.
Can you hear me?
Here, me and Adora, or
there we
these
go.
guys?
Oh, is this not on? Are we doing okay? I can yell also.
Yeah, there we go.
Does this make it better?
It may not have been on before. Is that better?
Are we good? Okay, cool.
In the back?
Sorry about that. So it's a supply side acquisition. Mm-hmm. So you got 60 advisors. It looks like you're ready to go then, right?
Yeah, we're ready to go. But then right now, our next step is to review those advisors and make sure that their profile is nice and they're high quality counselors who will have specialized certain areas, so that we can use those to attract the students.
Why is now the right time to do this? Like this could have been done 5 years ago. Why is something changed in the world that makes this possible now?
I think the edtech industry has been growing like slower than other consumer-based technology. Mm-hmm. So I think right now is a good time because the parents and students, they are getting more and more tools in their school using technology to learn, like personalized learning and collaborative learning. So I think this is the space where it has not been fully utilized yet.
Why do you think that is?
I think the reason why is people usually, they focus really on tutoring. They've put a lot of those energy onto getting good grades. And then they feel like they know exactly how they can get into college just based on their friends and family. So they rely a lot of those personal advice from their friends and family or whoever who have gone through that. But we want to give them the professional side of things.
It seems like the amount of information out there is out there, and so people are trying to probably differentiate themselves.
Right.
Because everyone, because there's an internet, and I can get that same access as person A or person B, right? And so it makes sense that it's, that you need somebody else to tell you like how to make it better versus just reading stuff. But okay, so I wanted to focus on like. It seems like your biggest challenge right now is going to be matching, right? So you have 60 advisors. Do you believe they're high? It sounds like you believe they're high quality enough right now to start matching them.
Some of them, not all.
So how are you going to? Or what are your top 2-3 determinants of bringing on these advisors in?
So definitely one of the things that we're looking for is whether the counselor or the advisor is certified or licensed. So again, we just launched the marketplace just a few days ago. What we're going to do is to focus on those profiles that are existing right now and talk to the actual advisors to see if they're, they have the credential, right?
Are you advisors yourselves?
I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Angela is.
you're on the site. Okay, and one thing would be just to match people to you and to figure that piece out.
Right. So I already started doing that. I had one person, which I met in person because they basically just want to meet with me in person. That's how we got. We think that is something that will be valuable. But we already start putting myself out there into on the supply side.
So there's a whole set of product risk here, which I think you guys will work through. The thing I keep coming back to is actually the market risk on this one. So my first startup was in education, so I know a ton about this space actually. And historically, the challenge has been that the way that the average person in the US thinks about things like college admissions is actually pretty different than the way that people who are in this room probably think about college education. And fundamentally, a lot of that comes down to, do you think about education as an investment or an expenditure? And this happens in a lot of markets where you kind of build for yourself, and then you realize the market doesn't actually behave the way that you behave. And so there's a leap that sometimes companies aren't able to make. And so that's why I was sort of probing on that, is like, has the market actually underneath this changed? Like, have you actually validated that people want the same things that you want? And that market is large enough to actually support a business?
Well, actually, there's recent change that I think will give us the opportunity, which is the new administration, because we're talking about funding cut into public school system. So we will expect that the resources that they have will be less and less, and I think that is an opportunity to educate the parents and students and to promote the needs of having the college advising.
Gotcha, but they don't currently get it today.
Right, they get very minimal.
What resources do people have? Because there's books, there used to be sites like Vault.com, which I don't think gives advice anymore.
Yeah.
So what are they using right now?
Right. So there are a lot of free sites out there, like College Board. They have they have different websites that tells them the details of the colleges. That probably the application rates and all those stuff. But those are not personalized for them. And when we did an interview with the users, they found it very overwhelming to go through all these different sites.
Who were the people that you were interviewing? Like, where did you find those?
We found it from our neighborhood, found it from our friends' kids, and basically people that we know.
Yeah, I mean, I think I keep coming back to this. I think specifically this is one of the biggest risks in the education market, is that the mass market is going to behave differently than the people that you know. And so actually, like, validating by talking to those people what their needs are and what you want to build for those people and what they want is actually pretty critical early on, because like people from your neighborhood probably think about education very similar to the way you do, or your friends' kids probably think about education very similarly the way that
Yeah, that's why ever since we launched, we try to iterate different ideas onto the site to see which one catch more of the attention. So far, I think we were able to identify that one-on-one personalized interaction is important. But I think the next step, we want to drill down into something more specific, so that we can just focus on that one thing.
Yeah. Have you guys considered the international markets at all? Like, is this just a US problem, or is this like a global problem?
We thought about it. There are some leads that we talked to. There is definitely the potential there for international markets. But the platform that we have built out so far is really targeted to US. But that doesn't really limit us on expanding to more markets.
Yeah. Have you thought about going international first, as opposed to US first?
So our target was basically states first. That was the focus. And in fact, our website is admission.us, so it's more like but definitely again, we do know that there are people out there, outside of United States who want to study here in the States, and they need that information as well. We talk to advisors as well from outside of the country. There's the need, but we don't really have any action item on let's target those markets yet.
How many users are on your site right now?
We have about 200 students on the site.
200 students. And where are they? What's the common element amongst all of them?
So we have 40% of those are senior. So that tells me that they wait until pretty last minute to do this. And then there are 25% of the junior. And majority of them are focusing on computer science and engineering, math type, and business majors.
It sounds like you might want to, I think this is kind of what I think Avichal is getting at also, is like trying to figure out what is that core thing that they really need, versus just like, right now it seems a little abstract of, I'm going to help you find a college, but it might be at something as simple as the essay, like I need help on the essay, and just focus on that one thing and drive it home, versus being a little bit, doing so many things at once.
Can I speak to that as well? Yeah. So admission's mission is basically to make sure that we provide the same opportunity for all students, that chance to go into college. And we understand that definitely within maybe California, maybe in bigger cities, that students are more educated, more they have the background of what's the path to college, and beyond that, what we're trying to do again, going back to the mission, we want to make sure that outside of these group of students, people from outside of California also have the same access to the same information. I mean, if you think about, or actually, based on our survey or talking to users, we know that a lot of students actually think they might not even have the chance to go into colleges because of it might not be affordable to them, right? But there's definitely alternatives for them, like financial aid and things like that, and that's the tier that we're trying to target, to make sure that they have access to that information, so that they know they at least have the chance to apply to college and maybe qualify for financial aid and path that.
I'm just going to echo what I think Adora is saying. Is I love what you just said, by the way. Like, that's an awesome mission, right? So when you think about a company, there's like the mission, there's the vision. Like, when we achieve the mission, here's what the world will look like. There's the strategy, which is like, here's in the fewest number of words, how we're going to go about achieving our mission. And then there's the tactics. There's the things that you do week over week in pursuit of your strategy to validate whether the strategy is true or not. And I think the advice that Adora is giving is more like strategic advice. It's like, okay, great, that's an awesome mission, but where do you start, right? Like, what is the first value that you create for people? And then that lets you create that second value and the third value. And then you've created all of the value for that population of people, but where do you start?
Yeah, if you think about, if you're going to apply to college, there's many steps in that, and you can't tackle every single step. So find the one in which people are having the most issue with, or they need the most help, and in which they will actually pay for as well, because you're trying to obviously build a business, right?
And it's not just, sorry to cut you off, but there's not just product strategy, there's also the go-to-market strategy, which is like, that's a lot of people, right? Like, how many people, is it like 50% of people even take the SAT in the US, right? It's like half people don't even take the SAT, right? So you're talking about large numbers of people at every step of the funnel. And so who you target is also part of your strategy, and who you target is going to be directly tied to what you build for those people as the first step.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And when we first started, there are like many different angles we can target, and we want to use the users' data and we want to just ask the user to drive us to which is the focus. And I felt like because the early acquisition is really hard, like for the users, so I don't have enough people to actually give me feedback on which areas they want to focus on. Some early indication is school selection and essay. Yeah. So these are the two that so far I can identify. From major is like science, math, and business. So those are three majors. So we have some pieces of signals that tell us which way we should go. But I know in my heart that going forward, there's one area that I need to focus on. I feel like we don't have enough data to get there yet.
Yeah, well, the challenge with data, this goes back to like, there are basically two ways to figure out what you want to build, whether it's your market, like go-to-market plan, your product is the top-down, which is like you go get a bunch of data, where are the opportunities, how do you slice the market, we're going to start here, then we're going to go here, and we're going to go here, or bottoms-up, which is you build the thing, you put it out there, people start using it, they're like, oh, we want this, we move forward. And in a lot of software, actually bottoms-up is great, because the early adopters indicate where the world is headed. And so you build for them, and then the rest of the world kind of catches up. So like social networking obviously was a great example of that. The challenge is if the people that are the early adopters of your product are not representative of what everybody else is going to do, then you end up building a thing that doesn't actually work for everybody else. And that's, I think, part of the challenge that you would have right now if you do that is I suspect the people that are coming to you are not going to be 100% representative. Like, to me, it sounds like two different populations of people that you're talking about. The people who don't know about financial aid and maybe are not applying to colleges or not doing all this kind of stuff and don't have the support versus, like, people who are organically finding this and care about this stuff a lot, like, to me, actually sound like different populations of people.
Okay, I think we have to finish up, but just one last thing. It seems like a lot of people are coming to you for advice anyway, and I might just start from there and just sit down with all these people and just do it all day, every single day for the next, I don't know, few weeks, and then see if there are common things that people are asking you. Also, you have access to now 60 advisors. You could also sit with them and do the exact same thing. It's totally not a scalable thing to do in the future, but it seems like to figure out where to start, that's like one way to go about doing it. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Hey, I'm Sid. Sid, Avichal.
Hey, Adora.
Hi, I'm Zach.
Adora. I just said the whole picture, I
Avichal,
think.
good to meet you.
Cool. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
What are you guys working on?
So I'm Sid, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Yembo. At Yembo, we are bringing computer vision technology to solve the price and cost estimation problem for the home services market. Specifically, we are starting with the moving industry. So let's say you're a consumer and you want to move, and you want to know how much it's going to cost. You take a video, and our technology will identify all the items, and then you get upfront an accurate quote. So this is much better than calling multiple moving companies, staying on the phone for about half an hour each to get arbitrarily wrong quotes, or waiting at home for an on-site estimator to come visit.
So is this an app?
Sure. Yeah, we have multiple channels. We did an MVP pilot with an app. We've also been working on just having it directly on the webpage of the moving
So
company.
say I'm at home. It sounds like I take the app and I'm taking pictures and I'm sending it to you guys, and then you kind of give me an estimate ASAP, essentially. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. We also have a solution where you can text it to a number, but it's the same technology.
And this
behind
is
the
more
scenes.
accurate than what's the % of accuracy do you get
So-
versus someone coming in?
So we are targeting the same accuracy. So the way we are thinking about it is today the estimation process takes about a week for you to get a quote, or you get multiple quotes and you don't really understand why a quote is what it is. So our goal is to give you a complete breakdown on what it is. And we still have some human labor in the background cleaning up the mistakes the AI is making. So our goal is to reduce the human time to less than 5 minutes.
So why is it so expensive, or why is it so take a week to get a quote? Like where are moving tech companies taking so long?
So one main reason is if you're scheduling an on-site estimator visit, so it costs the moving company a lot, more than $200 per visit, and you have to schedule someone to come visit. And these guys are able to do 2 to 3 estimates a day. So in the summertime when it's busy, it gets really backed up. So most companies don't end up actually sending an on-site estimator, and they give price quotes over the phone. Our research shows that 90% of this is wrong. So consumers shop around, and they don't really understand why a company is quoting what they're quoting. And in a lot of cases, what happens is there are these predatory providers in the market who take advantage of this price opaqueness, and they give you a lowball quote, get your business, and on the day of your move specifically, they slap you with last-minute fee hikes.
I see.
So we want to eliminate all of that.
So once you get the quote, are you also doing the moving yourself, or are you selling leads?
So our strategy is we're working with moving companies to do the estimating for them. So we are not a moving company, and our customer is the moving company.
So you're a white label solution for
Correct.
them?
Yes.
Okay.
Why do you need computer vision for this? It seems like everything you described to me sounds like process failures, like transparency in a marketplace failures. Like it sounds like a bunch of
Yeah.
What does the computer vision give you?
So our initial MVP that we deployed doesn't have any computer vision. People just take videos and someone watches it in the backend and to give a code. That takes around 90 minutes per person. So and also you need to hire and scale human workforce to do that. And there are a few other companies that's doing this. So our goal is we eliminate like majority of the work through using CV and keep the human workload to as less as possible. And from a product perspective, what we want to be also able to deliver to consumers is an interactive way of them customizing their code. So let's say you have a $2,000 budget, then and moving everything is maybe going to cost $3,000. Then you can decide, pick and choose how you want to spend that money.
How do you intend to charge for this? And do you have current customers right now?
Yeah, so we signed our first LOI for a paid trial with a moving company in San Diego, where we are doing this GPM solution where it's $10 with no AI and $50 with AI. We are talking to multiple large moving companies from $20 million annual revenue to a few $1 billion. And we are in the final stages of negotiations with some of them on the timelines as well as the features of a paid pilot. So it's like enterprise level contracts that we're going after.
So what does success look like for you? Is it accuracy, or like what are these folks looking from you?
So two different things. From a consumer standpoint, they want to reduce the friction of they want to provide a better quality of service because there's no way for the good companies to differentiate themselves right now. So they're looking at it as a better way to do customer service. And also from a cost standpoint, since it costs more than $200 to send an on-site estimator and it doesn't scale, they're looking at ways to increase their bottom line and their profits.
I wonder if there's a bigger market in you being the initial, like people thinking you're the initial moving company, or like in you selling the leads. I don't know if you want to get into the actual moving itself. That seems quite different. It's just operationally a headache. But instead, like part of what you're doing is also acquiring users and getting that sales process going and making it a great experience. And if you do that really well, then why not just own the entire process, or the entire sale process, I guess?
That's something that we've considered, but moving has a lot more, intricacies than just the code. So right now we are just hyper-focused on generating the best codes possible. That's something that we could possibly do in the future. And the second point is we are not acquiring customers today. The moving companies acquire customers themselves. So we are a technology that it's either there on their website or they direct consumers to our app.
Why do you charge more for the AI and less for the people?
So with the $10 solution, the assumption is if you're the moving company, you watch the video and provide the code yourself. So so there's some human. If you're the moving company, you have to hire people to actually watch the video.
Oh, so you're not hiring the people to do it?
On the $10, no.
I see.
Who is actually taking the non-AI version?
Right now, our AI is not completely ready yet, so that's the product that we are selling right now.
I see, but why not sell just the AI? I mean, that's what you're going to be, so why not sell the AI product now? And you could still have yourselves in the back. Fake it till you make it, you know?
So that's a good question. So two reasons. The first one is we want to train our AI on real-world people's homes. Like you can imagine when you're moving, your house looks nothing like the beautiful catalog
But it seems
pictures.
like this is like you need a lot of data, and to get a lot of data really quickly, you could just provide this blanket solution, and all the moving companies think they're getting this thing.
Yeah. So
And you're providing the same amount of quality either way, right?
yeah. So we are actually hiring annotators that are outsourced, where as our AI is improving, their workload is reducing. So that's something that we're doing.
So homes are very different, and which is why it's probably such a big problem. No one has figured out how to standardize the quoting process. How much data do you think you need before you've gotten something that can just run on its own?
So we are actively also web scraping for data through from Google Flickr. So we have a few millions of images already downloaded. So the goal with again with AI is the accuracy keeps increasing with time and as more consumers use it. And we have a fail-safe mechanism of humans filling in the gaps in the meantime.
What do you think what is your biggest challenge right now?
That's a good question. And that's one thing I think Startup School has actually helped us out with. So we are going after large enterprise contracts, and it's taking some time because our AI is not ready yet. So we are looking at ways of how to deploy a solution while simultaneously can monetize it as well. So in the meantime, because of our mentor from Startup School, we are doing this GPM solution so that we get our product out the door. We did a non-paid pilot, so this is a way to get some paying customers. So anything that can reduce the sales process, especially as we are going after the enterprise customers, would help us accelerate faster, as well as I guess we need to clone ourselves to create a product that's much accurate in a shorter period of time.
If I heard that right, that it's generating leads, and then so what does your pipeline look like? How many companies do you talk to a day?
Sure. So as Sid mentioned, we're targeting initially these larger enterprises because that allows us to scale faster. So we found it's pretty easy to get companies in the funnel when you explain what you're doing. It's the end of that, after you've shown them the tech, you show them the demo, and we're ready to sign for a paid pilot, that a lot of folks are saying, this is great, I need it to do everything right now. So there's a bit of a gap between where we are today and where we need to be, where we could close them a lot faster. And that's kind of where we're coming in with these creative ideas of how do we monetize what we have today and then work towards that goal.
What is that gap exactly? So they want the full AI and just produces a price quote.
Correct. Yeah. And you can expand on this.
Yeah. So if you can imagine that we have about we're detecting about 40 objects today. So we need to scale that to 150 objects, and because we're using video, we need to track these objects across frames. So we understand that this is one chair, even though I'm seeing it from the 5th second to the 15th second. So as we need to identify the size of the object because that contributes to cost as well. So there are multiple things that we are doing to. So we're working simultaneously in making progress in all of these.
Gotcha. And are they willing to sign LOIs that say like, hey, if you have this, we would give you $10,000 a month, or?
Already signed.
I see. And so how many of those LOIs do you have?
So we have more than half a dozen of LOIs already signed. So we're still working on the contract dollar amount. With a few customers, we are in the final stages of figuring out what that amount actually is going to be.
And how are you pricing that? So for the ones that you do have signed, how have you priced it?
For the first year, we are pitching a flat fee, so a few $100,000, where they can use our product as much as they want, where we actually work together with them in refining the process of how consumers actually use our technology to get a quote.
I see. So the total contract size, or each contract is worth a couple $100,000?
So we are looking at signing a maximum of up to 3 in the first year for a few $100,000.
I see. So couldn't you just, I mean, to Adora's earlier point, couldn't you just hire like 2 people to do this full time and go get a couple $100,000 from these guys and say like, hey, we have AI that's as good as a human, because you literally have a human?
That's what you're doing. I mean, that's our goal once we sign this. But they also want like more like a turnaround time of a few hours. So that's something that we're working with actually. So that's a very good point. So
what is your turnaround time? I guess you're optimizing for this at this point.
Yeah, so it depends. So we can have our turnaround time as less as 1 hour. It just means that we need to make sure that we have someone on call 24 hours a day. So whenever the AI spits out the analysis, they're able to clean that.
You might actually just want to figure out what the labor costs there for now as you're building up this data, and then just price accordingly.
Yeah.
So it might not be. So right now you're charging $10 or something, $50.
Yeah.
$50, and it might right now, due to the labor costs, because you don't have all the data, it's not accurate enough. It might be $100 cost to you. So why not just charge something a little bit above that? It'll knock out a number of people who won't pay that much, but at least it'll get you going with real customers.
So with the large enterprise customers, we are pitching a flat rate. So with the smaller guys, we are pitching the $10 and $50 just to get more data through our pipeline. But maybe that's a good idea.
Why are you pitching a flat rate with the big customers?
Because this is very new to them, and we want to make sure that they are incentivized to use it as much as possible, and like pitching on a per use fee. We feel like maybe
Do they already have estimators? Because you're replacing them in some sense down the road, right?
so. I don't think initially the target is. Let's say you have like a 5-bedroom or 6-bedroom house. They may still want to send an estimator over, but there's a significant, maybe 75% of the cases where they don't really send an estimator. So initially, based on our conversations, they may start using us for that specific segment of the market before.
This might be getting a little into the weeds, but one of the advantages of sending an estimator is you're also a salesperson, and so they close the sale for them. And so it might be that, especially if you're going to a huge house, that could be a lot of profit for them. They wouldn't even want to just
That's exactly
siphon it off
that's
somewhere
correct.
else. So maybe as you also, this is a tool for that estimator, right, to go faster, and they can get to more houses, and they.
Yeah, that's one of the options that we are working with
Great,
one of
okay.
these companies.
Okay, got it.
So what does this become? Like, suppose you're successful, you get a bunch of contracts, then what happens?
So again, we started with moving, but we've also found opportunities in other parallel verticals, like painting and home renovations and so on. So where the data that we are collecting and the AI that we are training will help us get to a solution faster. So so our goal is solve the problem for one industry and go horizontal to the second industry and so on.
It seems like something like painting would be easier.
Yeah, I was just thinking exactly
It's
that.
just like square footage
That
almost.
sounds like so much easier problem to solve.
It's actually slightly more difficult because if an on-site estimator comes to estimate your painting area, so there's like all these furniture that's blocking the views of the walls and so on. So and also getting scale is important in painting. So we need to get to the square feet level. So so we looked at it and then we thought that. We think that the moving is an easy problem to solve initially,
Technically speaking.
technically speaking.
I think this is such a huge business. Like, if you guys can eventually just solve the estimation problem, the pricing problem, you've solved 90% of the headache that all these home services lead generation sites.
We agree.
Yeah. So this is like $1 billion. This is like huge. This is the next Google potentially, right? So, yeah, congrats. You should apply to YC.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Okay.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's good meeting you. Hi. Adora. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Sandeep, Avichal, good to meet you. So that's what you do.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Yeah. So we are Alma Base. So what we do is we help schools build engaged alumni communities. So currently schools have a problem in tracking their alumni once they graduate, and the alumni experience is very broken. Like, the moment they graduate, they keep getting this giving solicitation emails and nothing much. And then, so with Alma Base, what happens is you can create a private alumni network where your alumni can sign up using the universal logins like Facebook and LinkedIn, and then they can engage with each other for mentorships, for job opportunities, or for signing up for the reunions and such things. And when the alumni are engaging, the schools would get insights like, all right, so how was this particular user engaging, like this alumni engaging with our Facebook page, how many times he has liked us, or how many times he have commented, all such insights, so that they can prioritize their alumni, and then they can reach out to the right alumni for different
Is this for
opportunities.
colleges,
And
high
schools, yeah,
It's for any
K-12,
school.
independent schools, and universities.
Do they all have the same problems in terms of reaching out to alumni?
Yeah, so like universities definitely have a different problem because they are at a different scale, but schools have a different problem. The biggest problem that the schools have is they do not have updated alumni data, because the moment they graduate,
So it's just a basic, like all they need is currently just a basic CRM, and it'd be 100x better than what they have now.
kind of.
Okay.
Kind of, but the way that they get the data into the CRM is by the social media integration. That's the key value that we provide. So the moment you sign up, we get your profile information from Facebook, or like education, your employment, your current location. So if someone has moved from like San Francisco to Boston and they update it on Facebook, it automatically gets synced here. Currently, the way schools are tracking it is by either putting up a Google form on their alumni tabs in the school website, or by asking them to email or doing phone-a-thons, which is like.
So isn't part of the problem is just connection to that person? So once, like, just emailing them and they actually seeing the email, and then converting that person.
Yeah, but it's quite difficult. Like how many times you have responded to any of your school emails, and then once you get the input from the email, then you again need to put it in some other database, and you always need to manually update the database in Excel spreadsheet or something like that.
Which type of customer are you focused on like right now? High schools or colleges?
High schools, like K-12 high schools.
Interesting.
Yeah, the independent ones.
From the end user perspective, why would they want to sign up? Like they're gonna have a Snapchat and an Instagram, a Facebook, a WhatsApp,
Yeah.
Facebook Messenger, a phone, an email
Sure.
address, a Slack,
Yeah.
and this.
Yeah, I got it. I mean, this is something that a lot of people ask me every day.
Yeah.
But I mean, in startup school, like in our Mattermost group, I just posted this, hey, how many of you want to like join a new network of your alumni, and why do you want to join? So everyone was like, yeah, we want to have that private network because like the LinkedIn's and the Facebook are like public networks, but they want to just be in
Why
that
doesn't the
close.
Facebook group just solve this?
The Facebook group doesn't solve it because like you cannot actually link to each other for job opportunities or for mentorships, for one thing.
What do you mean? Why not?
Sorry?
Why not? You can just message somebody if you're in the same group.
No, but I mean, how many times you actually get those notifications? Like I turn off a lot of my groups, and then the reach of the group is like 7% these days because like Facebook really want to like promote like ads or something on the groups. So it's quite difficult in terms of that engagement on Facebook groups.
But why wouldn't the same thing? So if I followed your logic, you basically said you join a group. You could theoretically join a group.
Yeah.
Then people could reach out to you. They can like your stuff. They can post a bunch in the group.
Okay.
And Facebook will notify you because there's stuff happening in the group. That starts to get annoying, so you turn off the notifications.
Exactly.
Why wouldn't the same thing happen for you?
Yeah, so here you can actually set up different notifications. Like when they're signing up, we ask them like, how do you want to contribute back to your community? Is it by mentorship, or is it by providing job sharing opportunities, or by giving or volunteering or planning a reunion? So ask those, and based on that, they can configure notifications, and they would be getting a digest based on these settings.
I see.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be getting like all the common ones. For example, the class of 1990s having a reunion, and you're in the Stanford group, and you're from the class of 2000, then you actually don't want to see that, right? I mean, that's a noise for you. It's not relevant for you in the group.
How many schools do you have currently?
To be precise, 94.
And how many per school, alumni per school are on your thing?
So on average, it's 5,000. And it also it goes to like 15,000 depending upon the boarding school or the kind of school it is.
5,000 alumni per school,
school, yeah.
are on your
You have like,
site.
You have like
Yeah.
how many schools?
So 94, but
450,000 people. on
no,
the
we
database?
have around like 1 million records. Like some schools have more, and we also have signed up some of the universities.
I see.
And of that, like 25% have signed up on the platform. The rest of them are yet to sign up on the platform.
I see.
In the
And what are they
private
doing
alumni
when they
network.
sign up to the platform?
So one thing is the admins, like the alumni relations office, they have different tools like where they can post content, and a weekly digest goes. So they come and they consume this content, or they respond to any of the things. Like there's a section called needs. If someone wants any help, they can just post there. So they come and they respond to this. Especially, this is the activity that they do at this point of time. Or if there are any job postings, they just come and apply if they're looking for job opportunities.
Yeah. And so if I'm the office who's actually buying this? Who's making the purchase?
The school is buying it.
So who inside the school is making the
The
decision?
alumni relations office, not the association, but the alumni relations office. So every school have a development office in which the alumni relations office is a part of. So they buy it.
I see. And how are you pricing it for these people?
Yeah, we are pricing. So we have 3 different plans, but the pro plan is something which has like a lot of our features, and which is like $5,000 per year. Yeah,
Per year.
yeah.
It would seem like to get these users, it would be right after they graduate.
Yeah.
But 2, I feel like the missing feature here is something along the lines of school spirit. I can't articulate right now, but this is what's not on. Like, I'm trying to think what Visual is. I think like trying to say is like a lot of what you're building is already on Facebook or these other things, and people naturally create these groups actually. And maybe it's not the entire school, but it's their friend set, or like I'm in a group of 100 people in my high school, I think. So, but what I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going to right now.
Sure.
But I think like the way to capture these people and the alumni folks, the administrators, can capture some kind of school spirit thing where it gets them back to the other site.
Exactly. So, I mean, if you look at it, the reason why you do not want to give your contact information is because the school is not providing any value to you at this point of time. So, but if they could like provide some value, hey, there are like so many mentors. If you want any mentorship, can you just come here and we'd be helping you. And then there's a student aspect there. Like for example, the graduating class. So like in the high schools, especially when they're going for their college applications or something, the counseling officers in the schools, they can just match these people and then help them get a better counseling regarding their college. So these kind of small things that they can do at this point of time, which I think is not so structured in Facebook groups or anything of that sort. And the key thing here is the alumni office can take control of all of this, like what is the activity that is happening, which is not possible on the
What does success look like for the alumni office? Like in a year, they have to renew the contract and buy again. How do they decide whether to give you another $5,000?
Sure. So I think it's about the number of alumni that they sign up, and then the kind of enrichment that they get in the data. Like for example, one of the schools, so they have only like 600 records, but the total alumni strength is like 8,000 people. So we also have an invite tool where they can invite folks via Facebook and LinkedIn. So now they have like 1,800 folks in like first 6 months.
Yeah.
And
So why do they want those records?
so again, like for giving or for knowing their preferences and engaging them better and providing them more value.
But what are it sounds like there's some downstream metric. Like let's say I'm the alumni office and I got all 8,000 records in a database.
Okay.
And I'm the principal of that school. Do I just fire the alumni guy? That person's like out of a job now because they got all 8,000 records?
I think the place where they're going to use it is, for example, it's for mentoring, which is a huge value that we are like thinking. But even the alumni officers are not really, they do not know what are the key metrics. So we are also trying to help them build those KPIs along the way when they're working with it.
Sounds like the answer would be somewhere along the lines of donations
that's
per
what I
alumni coming in, right?
That's the end goal. Like if you look at a funnel.
So what are the tools? Then you have to build them these tools, right? So you got all these people in, great. So
Yeah.
now how are you going to get these people to donate?
To donate. So we have a fundraising module where you can put different campaigns. Like okay, this is the annual campaign. This is a campaign for a particular building, and then you can make donations on some honorary, like it's in the honor of my son or pet.
So if that's the critical thing, like the alumni person is trying to figure out how to get more donations ultimately, why do all this extra work to try to get them, like why not go through their existing channels and help them optimize what they're already doing?
Sure. So what we have seen is when they are just doing this solicitation for these donations, actually the donation rate has come down. Like for example, in the schools, so it has actually come down when compared to the alumni, like general users just donating it to nonprofits. So these days they are just relating to cause and not to the schools or anything of that sort, right? So what we believe is like the premise or the hypothesis that we have is engaged alumni would eventually turn out to be donors. So that's why all of this. So you need to provide value before and then ask them. Don't just ask them.
I see. And is there data from, I mean, like this sort of software has been around for a long time, I have to imagine. It's effectively CRM software.
Yeah, and the back end just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I get emails all the time from organizations that I've been involved with that try to engage me and have programs. And like, is there data that says, yes, if you engage your alumni, they will actually donate more?
Not yet. I mean, we have been like for 18 months.
But but from other software. Like there's mailing lists, right? So are people who are responding to mailing lists like more likely to donate?
So that's what the schools say, at least. Like, yeah, we have been. I mean, I asked them like, who are your current donors? So they say, yeah, these are like alumni who are engaged or who are teaching or who come here for guest lectures or who regularly respond to our emails. So, but we do not know the exact numbers, but that's what we get a sense of.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you started with high school versus colleges? Because it seems like colleges have much bigger budgets for this. In fact, they have entire offices for this.
Yeah.
And then the alumni have more money to donate.
Sure. So is with the schools. I mean, surprisingly, so is with the schools. But the reason why, I mean, we initially went behind colleges, but then the sales cycles were really long. Like there's a lot of decision-making process, and then the procurement process, and some bidding system in
But
some
if that's
universities.
where all the money's at.
Yeah, we'll eventually go there. We'll eventually go, like one step at a time. So we are just.
But I think the tools you build for high school alumni administrators are much different than the college ones.
Way different.
Yeah, eventually, yes. So we are.
I think what we're suggesting is
go to just the high schools, universities, and not the high schools.
We've talked to you for 10 minutes, so I wouldn't pivot the entire thing right now. But I would really think hard about the market opportunity between high school and college.
No, I agree that the market opportunity is huge with universities. I mean, just the pure paperback math says that. But the only thing is, it's a lot more sales cycle and it's just stagnating our growth at this point of time. But with the schools, there are like eventually two people in an office. And if you both agree to buy it, you
Yeah.
just buy it.
Yeah.
But in a university, okay, you are the alumni relations director and you're a second director, and you both agree. Now you need to go to the development director, and then you need to go to the VP of advancement, the institutional advancement, and then the procurement
Yeah,
office.
but once you figure out that sales price process, I know it's difficult, but once you figure it out, it's probably similar in all colleges. Then you just optimize that and get really good at it, and then people will start coming in faster, right? But it is a pain to get it set up.
So what we have seen is, like, for example, there are other players in this market. So we have, like, I mean, we are just tracking of what rate they're also closing the higher ed if they're selling the higher ed, and we are talking to a few people. So they say, like, it's eventually how much ever. I don't know whether they have really cracked the process, but they have like 9 to 12 month sales cycles. It's like a long relationship building process.
believe that.
They initially need to like meet the champion, then they need to equip with them.
Yeah.
It's a really, really long, like a sales process.
Yeah. No, I mean, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. I think the risk really is that you end up, the thing that you want for high school is actually very different than the thing you want for colleges.
Sure.
And so actually, like you have now built a product for this market that you can't go to the more valuable market. Like you end up in this niche that is great because it was faster to win that niche.
Sure.
But it doesn't translate to the bigger, more valuable niche is like the risk that you run with that strategy.
No, true. But there is a slight overlap in the kind of tools that we're building. So I feel that, once we get some insights here, and then we also have like a couple of universities, like I think 8 universities currently using us. So based on those insights, like we are keeping a close eye on them. And depending on that, once we build some enough success stories with them, like a case study, then we have much better social proof, which might be helpful in optimizing the sales process.
One way to start, I think this is what Vichal was getting at earlier, is the people at the colleges, they already have a system in place, like mailing lists, marketing campaigns, and stuff like that. Maybe you don't initially replace all of it, but maybe talk to a bunch of these people, and maybe you can build tools to help them do something. I don't know what it is, but something better, and then start from there. And it wouldn't cost as much, but it gets you in the door.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The other, sorry to cut you off, but for the other big thing, it's everything you're saying makes a lot of sense in the near term. I mean, if you look at there's this great story. It's like the very first banner ad on the internet had like a 73% click-through rate or something insane, just because nobody had ever seen a banner ad. They were just like, "What is that?" And so everybody clicked on it. And then obviously people don't click on banner ads anymore. And I'm sure early Facebook notifications had crazy CTR, and they still have actually surprisingly good CTR. And so the risk you actually run is by trying to build your own distribution channel that you end up having the same thing happen to you a couple years from now, and then you're in a tough spot. When actually, to me, it sounds like you articulated it really well. Is the crux of what you want to do is help these people raise more money. And the channel is just a means to helping them raise the money. And another way to attack it is like, okay, well, if you want to raise money, what are the 10 things I could build for you that would just raise the money rather than needing the channel to raise the money, which is just one tactic to get there.
So like a pilot. So, what I'm doing is I'm volunteering with one of our customers in the Bay Area school who's doing this specific fundraising campaign. So we are building some tools for them to understand the exact problem. Like, what are these tools that are required for, if at all, we need to just only sell the fundraising aspect, like give it for free and maybe take a cut, right? So which makes the decision-making process also very easy. So we are volunteering and kind of working and figuring out what is there. I mean, what's there in fundraising.
Yeah, totally. I maybe put it slightly different way. It seems like there are already a lot of channels out there between mail, email, Facebook, LinkedIn, like whatever, messengers, text, and building yet another channel it creates a lot of product risk for you. But actually, just helping them raise the money better through the channels that they're already trying to manage would be a different way to approach it, and you might be able to have to actually go after a much bigger market.
Sure. Actually, I think that's the biggest challenge that we're facing also. Like, so initially we built these tools for the alumni relations office where, they can, in the back end, they can do all of this because they are the one who's making the purchase at the end of the day. So they need to immediately see that instant gratification over there and improving their work. But getting the alumni to sign up is a big challenge, like you're mentioning. So yeah, that's a big product challenge that we have.
Like I could imagine literally if you just made it easy, like some of the places I donate, like you click through on the link and you're like, wow, I'm trying to give you money and you're making it so hard. Like I can't donate on my phone. Like if forms, they don't fill in properly, and then like they validate improperly from the JavaScript. And you're like, how, I'm trying to give you money, like why is this so hard?
Why is this so, yeah.
I can imagine literally you would just, the alumni office would be so happy if their conversion went from like 5% to 12%, they would just make more money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what we're trying.
All right, cool. I think that's it.
Sure.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah, sure. So, open Q&A. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, ask. Go ahead.
Yeah, so one of the challenges that we face is, like, for example, we are international founders, there are kind of visa issues, and then, so we are not able to get close to our users. So what is the generic advice in terms of, like, in that situation, how do you actually get to understand your users better?
Why are you not able to get to your users?
So
You're here right now, right?
yeah, but after a point of time, I need to again travel back and then again come.
I see.
So we are like switching our roles, like 3 co-founders. So each of us come at different times, and then we stay, and then we kind of work with the schools. But that has been an ongoing challenge for us.
I think, are you based, where are you based?
Here, Mountain View.
Mountain View, and who are your users that are elsewhere?
So there are different schools, right? So the schools in Bay Area, and yeah. So they're from different states, sorry.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think you should. The main thing is establishing a relationship with these folks, and so sitting down with them for a little bit, for I don't know, a day or a week, and get the workflow going is one way to do it. And then obviously you can't be everywhere at once, but I think you can build a lot of products, and you don't have to be right next to them.
Yeah, I think there's like 2 general classes of way to do this. There's the qualitative and there's the quantitative. On the qualitative, you can there's like all different scales. You can literally have one-on-one studies that you're doing with users. You can have a forum that you create online. There's like user feedback software that will give you a bunch of good qualitative feedback, and as people upvote something, that gives you some signal. I've seen companies use what they would call like a client council. So what you do is you take like a representative sample of 12 to 15 people, you bring them in once a quarter, once every 6 months, you show them new stuff, they're NDA'd, they talk through it, they give you qualitative feedback, and it's like a very targeted way to do this all in one sitting. And then there's all the quantitative stuff. So there's all these metrics, right? Ultimately your KPIs, and there's only really 4 classes of metrics. There's like how many people use your stuff, how deeply do they use your stuff, how good is it at doing the thing that you say it's supposed to do, and how much money do you make? And all of your metrics basically roll into those 4. And when you're building features, you just like mapping against those things, and you see whether those numbers move. And so between those 2, you should be able to triangulate like whether or not a thing is working.
Thank you.
One more time? We're out of time. That's it. That's it? Yes. Cool. Thanks, guys.